No one gets a game today. I'm hitting record all by myself. Why am I so tired? I do nothing. I walk the dog every day. That's probably why. Um, it's because I only walk the dog every day. I don't have any other fun uh, action figures within easy reach. Anyway, okay. So business. Um, I have no business, I guess. Dean, the one, what? Somebody's talking to me. I don't know. The I'm sorry. Things are happening. I gotta mute some channels because they keep going beep 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 beep. Boy, this is riveting. YouTube. First off, I haven't gotten any emails or complaints about it, but just figured I'd let you know that Tuesday's class. Immediately after I put it up on YouTube, because I showed as much of the Institute as I showed, got a copyright takedown notice. It is blocked in the U.S. Thank you, Rachel. So you cannot see Tuesday's class because I showed what 5 minutes of a movie, something like that. So nobody's complained. So I'm assuming that, and everybody shows up more or less.
Isn't educational use? Isn't educational under fair use?
Well, so
Or was
it's
it
an
because you're
algorithm,
uploading?
right? It's an algorithm.
Yeah.
So the next step
I think you could
is
appeal that.
I can appeal it, and within 30 days they will adjudicate whether it's worth whether I'm right or wrong.
I see where the problem is.
Yeah. So so it really doesn't matter, because by the time it's adjudicated, it doesn't matter anymore. So if anybody desperately needs to see it, I can put it on a Google Drive. But unless I get an email saying, "Hey, where's Tuesday's class?" I'm not gonna, just because I'm lazy. And actually, the I guess I shouldn't say that on recorded media, but whatever. The, also, the whole explanation of the assignment, that was probably much more important than showing you bits of the movie. I had forgotten to press record anyway, so oops. Yeah, I couldn't post your MQP presentation on YouTube either because you used 15 freaking seconds of some copyrighted movie or music. 15, I timed it. I was like, 15 seconds. Can't we just get rid of this 15 seconds? Yeah, whatever. And then this whole thing. And bottom line is, I don't care. I just want to put the video somewhere where people can see it. And putting it all on YouTube seemed easy. Anyway, whatever. Okay, so you can't see Tuesday's course. Things are going out far and wide as far as the ARG is concerned. So and things seem to be going right. I'm so I'm gonna preface everything with, because the two ARGs are running simultaneously and I try to keep up with both of them, I get all confused as to which things belong to which. And I have to be very cagey when I'm talking in class, because I know things that I shouldn't know about both ARGs. And in the past, I have been talking about what I thought was this class's ARG and giving away something about the other class's ARG. So I try to be very careful about what I say. Um, so, uh, um, first off, let's get a report from Mike or Emily. Overall, how are things going? Is there something you need from somebody? Um, is there a hiccup or what's going on? Somebody unmute yourself and tell us.
Things have been going pretty well, actually. Everyone's really on top of what they have to do.
Okay.
Haven't been any big issues at all.
Okay. Players, are players where they're supposed to be?
Yes.
Okay. They gotten everything for today?
Looking at the Discord, I think yes, they
Okay.
have gotten where they need to be.
So the Discord is the Truth Seekers Discord?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Because I just apparently I nearly got banned from there for talking about Generation X just now between classes.
That wasn't us. That wasn't us. That was the people from the other class who were like, dang it, Dean.
Stop talking about random stuff. Well, don't accuse me of being a boomer. I'm no boomer. I'm Gen X. Anyway, so okay, so they have found everything for today. They seem to like Cletus, although he's a little scary at the same time. Okay, so let's move through the groups. Xavier, writing. Can you tell us where you are? What's going on? What's the plan for the next 24 hours? Does anything need to get done? What's going on?
Yeah, so we have like a few more like little bits to get done for tomorrow because we have a Google Drive that's going to be shared by Cletus. Overall, we're on top of things. There are a few small things we need to talk about, but overall, everything's running well.
Okay. So you still got things to write. When like Cletus puts out a tweet, who's writing that?
I'm pretty sure it's been Ben. Yeah, we kind of had it divvied up based off of who is writing each character when
Okay.
we made it, so that it would be more consistent.
Okay, that's fine. I was just wondering.
Yeah.
And are they being written on the fly, or various tweets or whatever? Is it being written on the fly, or is it in a Google Doc somewhere that on Thursday at 4:15 Cletus will tweet X?
With the tweets specifically, they're more on the fly. Like some we will come up with, but overall, that's not the biggest focus. It's more just replying to people or putting out tweets when certain people start talking about certain things.
Okay. And like the emails from Jen, were those?
The emails were scripted.
Okay.
I typed up a base format yesterday, and then I went through and personalized it for each person who sent the email yesterday, and then I set up an autoresponder.
Okay, great. how many emails did you send?
Over 20.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Um,
I counted out how many in the doc. I think it's around 23.
okay, and I noticed you asked for where people were emailing from,
We
right?
got one from Dublin, Ireland.
Oh, that's cool. All the way from Dublin. Anybody know how that happened? No?
I don't know.
Well, no, it's fine. Um,
I'm hoping for one or two, maybe three, if we're lucky, from Australia, since I am specifically asking.
well, so how many hours are they off from us?
Uh, it's it's like early morning there right now.
Okay, so depending on time differences, they may be just seeing things that
Yeah.
went up in their middle of the night, right?
Yep.
So it's fine. I also thought that it was a good opening, good rabbit hole. Um, the Worcester Bugle was just enough to get us started, and not really like I told both classes, hey, we don't like the whole this is not a game, that we have to be super serious isn't a thing anymore, and that if you just want to put out a hey, we're playing, come play our game, that's perfectly fine, right? um, and the other class did that, right? And you guys, I don't know if you did it other places, but I haven't seen anything like
We're
that.
presenting it semi-seriously, I think.
Yeah.
We're presenting it like, hey, we found what we think might be an ARG. Do you want to take a look at it?
Okay.
At least that's how I'm doing it.
Yeah. Oh, you said it was an ARG in the Discord channel. That's fine. I mean, that is absolutely perfectly fine. Um, and it's very clean. No, you're not. It's no one has done anything wrong here, Tsuyi. Um, it's just an interesting. I'm pointing it out as interesting approaches. Um, uh, to come right out and say, hey, come play this game, or to say, like, I put out let's see, profile, uh I can share this. I don't know, nobody follows me, but share. This is the tweet I put out, which, I don't come right out and say, hey, look at my students ARG. But uh, everybody knows that I've been teaching this class for 15 years. A lot of my followers know that around this time of year, every year, I start tweeting out weird things, right? So that's what I tweeted, and I put it on my Facebook too, pretty much the same thing. And then let's see, then I did interactive media and game development. I didn't want to directly tweet from here, so I retweeted. Let's see, profile. Yeah, I retweeted it from me so that it looked like it was from me, and IMGD was just retweeting. So I got it out there a little bit. I put it, so Zach put it out and they guessed it quickly and said, oh, it's ARG season. Yeah, it is ARG season. The SFS usually has 5 or 6 people who come around and play. We had some hardcore people who would play for 2-3 years before then they graduated. So okay, before I go on, I'm gonna get to the rest, but I want to warn you about a couple of things. First, trolls. Trolls happen. These same people who are like, oh, it's ARG season. A lot of them are former students from this class from last year or the year before. Um, they ran their ARG. They had a really good time, and now they feel like, oh, look at the kids just starting their first ARG. Ha ha ha! I'm gonna screw with them, right? Um, so what happens sometimes is people in your forum, in this case, um, the Discord, um, start start kind of hinting that they know more than they do, uh, hinting that maybe they're characters, um, and then they say, "Hey, look what I found," and it's some puzzle that is from last year's ARG, right? And now you've got a whole bunch of people who are playing your ARG who have just run off to solve some totally BS, has nothing to do with your ARG puzzle, right? And go down a whole other path of this whatever's left over laying out there of their ARG. So how do you fix that? Well, you have your characters say, I don't know who this person is. This person is not who they say they are. That's not a thing. But it's a problem because depending on which character says that, do your players trust that character?
We
Right.
could, I mean, since I have like overall like god power in the server, I could probably just delete their message and ban them.
Yeah, you could. What you want to do is uh, you never want to ban a player if you don't have to, because a player's a player. This person is interested enough to come in and try and screw with you. Maybe you can turn them back to the light side. Think like Luke Skywalker, right? Um, so before you ban them, maybe send them a private message saying, dude, could you not do that, please? Right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, and deleting the message is perfectly fine. But you know, try and get them to play with you instead of against you, right? So the other common pitfall is to get sock puppets in your forum, and these are people on your team who start posting in your forum like they're players, right? And maybe players are stuck on some puzzle, and it's very tempting to have your sock puppet say, "Hey, maybe it's this," and give a hint. There was one year where every puzzle had a time limit, so they had a whole kind of evil mastermind plan where the bad guy every day at, I don't know, 5 or 6, the bad guy would succeed with their goals for that day, right? If the players solved the puzzle or did the activity, then they would make him fail. But if they didn't, they'd make him, then he would succeed after a certain amount of time. And so what they did, because they didn't, like, why would, it's perfectly reasonable to say, why would the villain say, I am going to try to do this by 6 p.m. if you don't stop me. Ha 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 ha. No, the villain would keep their mouth shut, do their work, and at 6 p.m. succeed, right? Um, so they didn't tell the players that at 6 p.m. solving this puzzle is accomplishing nothing, right? So what they did was they put a player in there, and at 6:30 p.m. every night, that player would solve the puzzle, and in their minds, it was perfectly reasonable to say, "Oh, Pete solves the puzzle so that everybody stops doing it because they have lost at this point." But what happened after day 2 is the players, the legit players, said, "Oh, well, if we wait long enough, that really smart guy Pete will solve the puzzle." Right? And we don't have to, because I know it happens all the time where everybody's like, I'm really bad at puzzles, but I'll try and play along. I'll be one of those sounding boards. Maybe smarter people than I am will solve the puzzle. And if Pete is that smarter person, then I don't have to solve the puzzle. I can just cheer Pete on, right? Problem is, Pete's a sock puppet. So essentially, they were playing their own game, right? They would set up a puzzle, everybody would look at it, go, I don't know, and then they would solve it for everybody, which nobody's playing your game. And trust me, it wasn't until they did this and I saw the effect of it that I started telling everybody not to do that. It sounded perfectly reasonable to me until it all went horribly wrong that year. So I learned something that year. Also, at one of these conventions, we saw a presentation by this Canadian ARG, this team from Canada who was doing an ARG. And they said, yeah, we had what we call shills. And everybody went, "Ooh?" And they're like, yeah, we use the shills to give clues, to help people along, to cheer people on who are doing well. And all the professional ARG makers basically said, yeah, don't do that. You played your own game. You're basically violating the rules of your own game by solving your own puzzles. Why would you do that? There's a place that forum that is now gone called Unfiction, which is where everybody got together to talk about ARGs. Their one big rule was no in-character accounts, and no disinformation. So if you were running an ARG and you signed up for an account as a character and came in and acted like you were a player, but were really a character, they would ban you. They would delete all mentions of that ARG. And anybody who tried to post about that ARG, their messages would be deleted. Because the one thing they promised everybody is that this is a safe space with no disinformation where players of ARGs can talk about playing ARGs. Additionally, creators of ARGs can watch. There was no rule against reading the discussion that players were having, right? So you could come in and monitor players' progress. You could see where they were stuck and then give clues through other characters. But you couldn't do it in Unfiction because that is the one safe space. So I noticed let's see, Truth Seekers is Jenny, right? You guys are Jenny, right?
Yep.
Okay. Again,
Somebody just got into the Discord without emailing Jenny. I don't know how that happened.
oh, probably somebody sent the invite. It's just a link, right? So
True.
you can
Or it could be a troll too. Like,
post it around.
I don't know, very weird.
Well, I mean, just like you guys do, they have their class Discord channel. And I'm sure somebody in the Discord was like, wait, where's the Discord for this? And somebody posted the invite. And boom, you've got people. So Jenny is posting in there, right? There's nothing that will shut down discussion faster than, and I don't know if this is going to happen. I haven't read all the documents that came in last night, but if Jenny turns around and says, "Wah ha 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 ha, I am an evil villain, and now I know all your hopes and dreams and fears, and I've been watching this whole time, and now I will kill everyone," wah ha ha ha, right? And there you go. Now this is not a safe space anymore, right? Now the big bad evil guy or girl is monitoring me, so I can't talk. The other thing that has happened in the past is they've had like Evil Corporation come and shut down the forum for a period of time, like as a stomp on things, and that's a problem because now it's clear that the bad guys have a high level of control over the forum, and so when it comes back, if it comes back, well, now they're monitoring and I can't talk here, so nobody ever talks there again. So just be careful about characters in your Discord. Don't do a heel turn. Keep it trusting. Everything, if you want people to talk there, you need to keep it above board. You can't do anything negative to shut stuff down. Okay. Getting back to reports. Artists, Rachel, how are things going on the art front?
Things are good. Everything is done except like the final editing of the like, video.
Okay.
I just need to like where that's being posted, so I know how much to like compress that video, and then otherwise we're mostly focusing on playing now.
Okay, cool. Another thing for everybody, one of the things we didn't do this year that we usually do the first couple of days of class is do improv. And the number one rule of improv is yes and. So if somebody comes out and says, "We're on the moon," you don't say, "I'm not on the moon." You say, "Yes, we're on the moon, and this cheese that it's made of tastes delicious," right? So not only have I taken what you've given me, but I've added to it, and now your partner then eats some cheese and builds off of that because, oh my God, we've taken too much cheese and now there's a hole in the moon and I think something's leaking out of it, right? So you keep building on things. So what I think it's great that people are mostly done or fully done or just finishing touches. The pitfall there is you are locked in, right? So there was one time when I was again at this ARG conference, and we were sitting around having drinks and talking about ARGs that we had played, and the one lady said that she had written for a particular arc that I had never played and that I didn't remember. And another woman said, "Oh my God, I played that arg. I was the one who figured out that Steve was poisoned." And the writer for the arg was like, "You were the one? Oh my God, that was great because we knew Steve had died, but we had no idea. We didn't care how he died." Or she didn't say that, but she said, "We had no plans for revealing how or why he died, just that he died." And then somebody on one of the forums posted this whole theory about how he was poisoned, and with a number of theories about who did it. Um, and you did our work for us, because as soon as we saw that, we were like, "Yep, Steve was poisoned, all right. You betcha Steve was poisoned." And I can sit here. No, we're not going to do Zoom improv, Stanley. Um, I can sit here and choose, like you have 4 theories of who poisoned him, and I can pick one and build off of that. So just be aware that they may come up with cool ideas themselves. And especially the writing group and the gameplay group. If they come up with cool theories or start saying, "Are you an alien?" You might say, "Well, I don't think of myself as an alien, but some have called me that," right? And build off of that. So don't throw anything away. Don't ever say no, right? Say yes and. Yes, absolutely. I have been an alien, but not in the way that you say, right? So play around with it. Don't lock yourself in. Be prepared to change things as they need it. In fact, I believe that's one of the achievements, is that you change something on the fly because of a player theory or input, right?
I think we've actually kind of done that already because we accidentally hinted that Cletus was in the Discord,
Oh,
and everybody latched on to that idea, and now we've kind of decided, okay, so Cletus has hacked into Jenny's Discord and is watching the chat.
okay. Again, careful about trust in the Discord, but great. Keep doing it. But then how do you incorporate that into the rest of the game? Is Cletus going to start tweeting about what's going on in the Discord?
I think Cletus
Feel
is
free.
already like kind of part of the story, so I'm not terribly worried about how it's going to tie in.
Okay.
It's just a little detail that
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking
able to be.
about. Okay. Ba, 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 ba. Next. Who's left? 4 p.m. Gameplay. What's going on?
Hello.
Hello.
At this point, with gameplay, pretty much all of our stuff is figured out for all the different puzzles and events that players get to experience. And as far as I'm aware, basically everything is pretty much prepped or will be prepped in time for when they have to go live. And so everything should be good on the gameplay front.
Okay. How are we doing with difficulty? Are they feeling so one of the things you guys should be doing as it's live is monitoring your players, and if they're saying, "Wow, that was brain dead easy," up the difficulty, and if they seem to be stuck, let writing know so that they can put out clues and let them give them some clues to put out so that they keep progressing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I will say at the current moment, I have not viewed their Discord yet, because
Okay.
I've been trying to not fail discrete.
Okay.
But
Well,
I
maybe
will be
put
checking
somebody
in
else on that. I don't want you to fail discrete either. There's a lot of chatter in the Discord right now. The other thing, well, let me, I'll put that to tech. But keep an eye on how fast they're going. I think they've gotten everything for today. They're having a lot. I mean, I was just arguing whether they were calling Cletus a boomer, and I'm like, he's a year younger than I am, and I'm no boomer. Damn it, I'm Gen X. Don't call me a boomer. And then they didn't know what Gen X was, and this is what they started complaining about me going off on tangents. I don't know why. I am not known for going off on tangents. Okay. So keep an eye on things and adjust difficulty as needed, right? Remember, we want everybody to finish. Tech, Jared,
Hello.
how goes it?
So I think we're doing all right. I don't know if scrambling's the right word, but like we were making some final changes to the websites for today, like the chain that they follow to the websites.
Okay. I think the websites look great. The website, it keeps asking me if I want to read it in Vietnamese or English.
Yeah, that's because of like the weird text that the writing team gave us.
Yeah.
Like I don't really know what.
I think Zolgo uses Vietnamese accents to create the effects. So that, yeah.
Yeah, that would explain it.
It's not a big deal. But as a player, I was like, hey, did you notice it keeps asking about Vietnamese? And one of the other players is Vietnamese. And so she started trying to read all the Vietnamese, and she's like, there's no real Vietnamese here. And apparently you have players from Vietnam. Just saying. Just saying. You might have players from Vietnam.
That's true. So we have a final game in Unity that Shane is making. I don't know if he's here or not. Yeah, he's not here today. But that's all planned out. He said he wouldn't have any issues making it. That's for Monday, and he said he would get it done this weekend.
Okay.
So hopefully that goes smoothly. I know we were discussing in the Discord about like where this video that was recorded needs to be posted. We hadn't decided that yet, so that might need a website. And then I made a website early on that we ended up moving to Saturday. I need to edit that a little bit, but it's like mostly done. And then the only other thing I don't know, like the flag puzzle, Zach, is that like, does that need a website, or did we decide that was going on Cletus's Twitter?
Cletus would be sending the players that somehow, whether it's on the probably Twitter's probably a good place to do it, and they need to send back the code inside of it to get the information for Friday morning.
Okay.
Or
so that doesn't need
D1.
anything. That doesn't need anything from tech then, right?
Yeah.
And then they have the phone call, which we set up. Like Emily helped out a lot to set that up, to set up the Google Voice stuff for the phone call that players are going to be able to call Ben to get information from him. And Rachel's doing a broadcast of like the cultist message on her radio, which will help us get the 150 achievement points.
Okay.
So yeah, I think the only thing left is just the video. We need to decide where we're posting the video, and then we're all set.
Okay. One minor criticism. Right now, the Discord is moving very, very fast. with just the one channel for general.
Hmm.
So if at some point we can get more channels that are more specialized, and I don't know how to break it down, but you know, the recipes or our whatever the not recipes, that's the other one, sorry. But however you want to break it down, so that we can get more, like right now it is scrolling by really quickly, like as we are talking.
Yeah.
Um,
Jaden's logged into that right now, and he just made like a fairies
okay.
chat. Like they've gone on all sorts of different tangents that from like the fake filler articles on the main website.
Yeah.
So that's been interesting to see.
Yeah.
Uh
So like, don't give anything away. If they want to go off on a tangent,
mhm.
feel free. Certainly I like going off on tangents. Maybe even make a tangents. I don't know. Because again, one year, some people, they stopped solving puzzles. They stopped actually playing the ARG, but they just hung out in the forum talking, right? And it cluttered things up for the people who were actually trying to solve whatever it was that was live at that moment. And in fact, they started posting lolcats, just and taking up pages and pages of forum posts with lolcats, so that there'd be hey, I tried to do this in this puzzle, and then 3 pages of lolcats, and then somebody else would say, I read that a while ago. I wish I could, you know, could respond directly, but there's 3 pages of lolcats in between. And we actually then, I had to give them a talking to about the lolcats.
Mhm.
And they made a special area just to post lolcats, which then the lolcat people were very happy to go off and post lolcats there. The people who still wanted to post the puzzles, work the puzzles, worked them.
Yeah, we could maybe do like a new info
Yeah,
channel or something like that for like
I see justice for Gunther.
yeah.
That's the other thing that recruits, like you guys don't have a recruiting group, but the recruiting group usually does the story thus far post every day. And that's not something for tech. That's probably more for writing, if they can do that in character. Like Jenny says, okay, on Wednesday I asked for help, and then on Thursday you guys got me the recipe, but we found all this other weird stuff, and now today this is where we are, just so that people coming in late can quickly catch up and pin those somewhere, or put them in a what's happened so far section that they're pinned in order, kind of thing. Something to think about. I would normally say recruiters do that, because that's a way to keep players coming in, but you don't have recruiters, so either put writing on it, or I don't know, producers or somebody, just to keep people coming in. Okay. Speaking of which, how are we doing on their ARG? Anybody? Zach, you look like you unmuted yourself. No?
Forgot to mute myself after the previous conversation.
Oh, okay. Who's
Susie
playing
says
their
she-
ARG?
Susie says she's kind of lost.
Suyi says, I'm kind of lost, but that's just me. Who's not lost? Who is crushing their ARG?
We've I think we've already done the 2 things for today. We used a code we got yesterday to get a video and like another code that we then used to get a Spotify album with 3 videos in it. Yeah, I think Rachel just summarized it a bit better.
Okay, we got to a point where we found a Snapchat invite, which I've scanned and have not been shown anything else on Snapchat.
There was also one other thing. In the Spotify playlist, there were 3 things. There were 2 songs titled Dead and 1 song titled Number 5.
Okay.
So, yeah. Also, I there's a lot of evidence that this is like a ghost thing.
Okay.
So we'll see how that happens.
Okay, but so if you had to explain it to Su Yi, what would you tell her to look at? What's the story? Su Yi says. What has happened so far? So the Worcester Bugle has a weird.
In ours or
No,
in the
in
other
there.
one?
Sorry, I get them
Okay.
confused. Jen needs a recipe.
Yeah, Jen's grandmother or whoever it is, her grandmother has died. Granny Smith, nice little joke there.
Haha.
And so she's trying to get her grandmother's recipes, and but they're for some reason locked up, and she can't get access to them. So we tried to access one, but it was the wrong recipe. So yeah, that is wild. But yeah, so the first recipe we got was the wrong recipe, but it had a code in it. It was the first letter of every sentence spelled out mechanism, and it that was a code for today. It was and then we used that code today to it directed us to a YouTube channel. We also had a downloaded video that we had to watch, and also videos on the YouTube channel to watch. And that gave us codes to go and find to email somebody a certain phrase, and that directed us to the Spotify playlist.
Okay.
And that's the story so far.
So I am as far as the Minecraft server. Is that you or them?
There's a Minecraft server?
Well, not a Minecraft server, but a Minecraft video. Is that you or them?
That's them. I
Okay.
believe that is from the YouTube channel.
Right. So, like, share. So, there's this, right? Did you guys see this? Am I wrong?
That is correct. That, I believe, is where we got a part of the code.
Right. And
At some point, it was
going around
on
finding
Sue's
boxes.
right hand.
What is this? Oh, that's that. Okay. This kid
I
gets.
assume the number and type of each item will be significant at some point.
I thought it was the little signs next to each of the boxes they find.
What do I personally did not watch the video. I just what somebody else said in the forum, which is very user unfriendly, but you know what, it works.
Yeah, well, I agree. So see this box, right? And then look, there's that little sign right
yep,
next.
That
to
was what we used.
Okay, so that got you to Spotify.
It told us altogether, it told us to email somebody a certain phrase, and then when we emailed that person the phrase, it took they sent us a email in response saying to go to this Spotify playlist, and that's how we got there.
Okay. Okay. Because I haven't gotten that far yet. I was in the middle of watching the video and seeing those things. And I saw you guys posting about all the different things, but I didn't send an email or anything. What's this with Lucy versus Jen? Is that a screw up? Is the blog registered
No,
to Lucy or Jen?
You said Jenny for their character, but their character is Lucy.
Oh, sorry.
Our character is Jenny.
See what happens. This is why, like, when I send them out to friends, I basically say pick one, because doing both of them will confuse you, because I get all confused as to who's who for what. Okay, so sounds like everybody's in good shape. Sounds like things are progressing. Keep playing theirs. Keep watching yours. Make sure that things don't go off the rails. And we'll check in again tomorrow. Okay? Okay. Bye.
See ya.